dad was a miner, my granddad was, and his father before him, my brother was a miner. Unemployment is just terrible around here. There's no jobs for anybody to go to. It's all agency work. You know, they take people on for a few weeks, use them, and then, you know, throw them on the scrap heap again. And I really feel sorry for the children and the new generation coming now, because there's just nothing for them to do. I can remember my husband coming home and saying that the South Wales miners had been down on the picket line. And I said, well, you know, typical woman attitude, have they fed, have they washed, do they want somewhere to stay? So he went back down the picket line and I had 6 South Wales miners sleeping, washing, bathing and eating in the house, so it really all started from there.
Mrs. Thatcher giving her traditional end-of-term speech to the Conservatives 1922 committee said that during the Falklands War they had to fight the enemy without. Now they had to fight the enemy within, the enemy within, the enemy within.
The media was always against us, really, because at the end of the day, the media is just the Tory press, isn't it? We are living, we are strong, we are fighting for our lives.
Yeah, I think the miners needed the wives behind them, or the girlfriends, or whatever. I think they were very important to the strike.
The atmosphere in the hall, in the civic hall in Barnsley, was brilliant. We're walking into the hall and the police are there. You can't take banners in, you can't take this in. Women saying, we can't walk, get out of the way. I'll tell you something, we could have took anybody on that day when we come out of here.
Oh, Lorna, who was my Uncle Harry's daughter, she was at the party at Stoke. And she come over, I think it was just before Christmas. She said, there's a do-on for, like, miners' wives at Stoke. Do you want to come? I says, oh, God, no. I said, when is it? She said, Saturday morning. And I thought, I'm going bloody go. I said, excuse me, do you Brenda Proctor? Oh, my Dave works at the same pit as your husband. And she goes, oh, Doc, she says, well, have you been out and about? I says, no, just had a baby. Well, Brenda goes all gooey when you mention baby. She goes, oh, Doc, she's had a strike, baby. And you went, Doreen. I said, Doreen, come here. So that was it. Doc, oh, Mary. And she introduced me to Bridget. She goes, what are you doing on Saturday? I goes, oh, I don't know. No, it was a Sunday. Wow, what do you want, Doc? I was all of them either, because I thought, kids, Dave, what can I do? She goes, we've got a meeting in Bedworth. I says, where's that? She says, well, the other side of Birmingham. I says, what for? She says, it's a miners' meeting, miners' wives meeting. Do you want to come? I goes, well, I don't know about that. I don't know, Doc. She goes, well, why? I says, well, I've got 3 kids. She goes, well, your husband's on strike, isn't he? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, can't he have the kids? He goes, I don't know. I suppose he can't he? He goes, does he go out picketing? I goes, oh yeah, all the time, get proud of him, like, you know. She goes, well, who has the kids when he's out picketing? I goes, well, me. He goes, well, you can have the kids while you go to the meeting. I goes, you know, what a good idea, right, I'm coming. So, next Sunday, Doc, who have I got outside my house waiting for me? Bridget in the car. Here we go.
We must first of all thank the North Staffs Miners' Wives Support Group, for without their dedication, this would not be happening. I would like us all to remember those days in '84. This was the year that the state went to war with miners and miners' wives. We should not forget the 2 men killed on the picket lines, the 11,000 that were arrested, almost 6,000 put on trial, 200 men put in prison, and 1,000 men at least who lost their jobs, and I believe many more. All because they decided to fight to keep an industry. And one thing we must never forget, ever, is the Iron Lady. she was willing to bankrupt this country in order to destroy the NUM and all we stood for. In closing, after 12 months, we still had over 160,000 men out on strike. And the biggest reason for that was the help and dedication of the miners' wives support groups. No one, and I say no one, went back to work because they were hungry. That I can guarantee. With that, I dedicate this plaque to the year 1984 and the striking miners. The year when miners and miners' wives and support groups gave 12 months of their life to try and save our pits. I take my hat off to each and every striking miner and everyone that supported us, and thank everyone on behalf of the miners for today.
I've got to say something.
Oh yeah, you'll have to say something.
I'll have to say what a privilege it is and an honour to unveil this plaque for the North Staffs Miners' Wives Action Group Memorial.
I have to say that when we decided that we wanted to get a sculpture to mark that historic struggle, we didn't want to get something that you could put on a plinth, because if you could put it on a plinth, you could take it off. We needed something that we could stick in the wall, and the surveyors had to go and check the load-bearing weight underneath, because it turned out to be about 10 tons. That is a combination of coal, stone, local bricks, you know, these engineering bricks, they're beautiful quality, and they're all donated. And so the coal sculpture in itself represents all the energies and the skills and the commitment that people and solidarity people expressed during that strike. And of course, for us, it also acknowledges the two people who made the ultimate sacrifice, you know, in that struggle. And we're proud that we've given the museum something they'll never be able to take away. And we believe that if there was a bomb dropped on here, that would be still standing.
Brilliant.
I think today is really important, because if we don't learn from history, we'll probably make the same mistakes again. It's good to celebrate things that were successes, and I think to get the real values out, the kind of almost the accidentals of what people were fighting for. And maybe the struggle that they lost is one thing, but I think the battle that was won was a battle to say that community works, sticking together works, to say that sustainable energy is always worth fighting for, and the world is worth fighting for, and diversity is worth fighting for. People made many friends during the strike that actually have continued, and they were different people, so knowing that difference is a good thing. So those are the values that to me come out of the strike and are memorable and worth celebrating.
It's so important because we were strong and we are strong now, and it really is an opportunity to bring everybody together to reaffirm that what happened in the miners' strike was the right thing to do, and we have to try and make sure that we apply that to what we do now. And that's really, I think that needs to be the guiding way that we go forward for the future.
I was elected to Chesterfield the day the miners' strike began. Did 299 meetings and pickets every week. And what the miners did was they defended the values of the labour movement. And they mobilised support from all over the country and all over the world. And the women were the backbone of it. They were quite extraordinary. And I believe that what we're celebrating today is all that's best in the labour movement and in democracy and in trade unionism. And I'm really grateful to the women for organising it, and not surprisingly, they're the ones who took the initiative, not the men.
Nothing much has changed, really. People are still struggling. The state is still abusing its power. But there's some things that endure, and the friendships that were forged during that strike endure.
My name is Bridget Bell, this is Rose Hunter. We're members of the North Staffs Miners' Wives Action Group. In 1994, we produced a film which you're about to see. We produced it to mark the 10th anniversary of the 1984-85 Great Miners' Strike. The film tells a story of how we came together during that strike to fight for the future of the mining communities, to fight for the future of the coal industry, to fight for the future of our children and our grandchildren. We marked that 10th anniversary by putting together a coal sculpture which is now installed in the City Museum. And we go into some detail about how that sculpture came together. And we do that because it represented all that was great about that miners' struggle. It represented the energies and commitment of people throughout the land who came together to fight for the coal industry, because it wasn't a struggle that just involved the mining community. It involved workers and members of the working community everywhere.
We are women, we are strong, we are fighting for our lives.
I've never been as proud as I am today to be a member of Women Against Pit Closures. They'll never stop us. We will not stop. We will carry on, and the fight goes on. Thank you.
The decision to close 31 pits and destroy the lives of 30,000 families in the mining industry, the 13th of October 1992, was taken by 7 people behind closed doors. And yet these people had the audacity to tell me that in 1984 I should have had a course of that dispute, we saw the birth of the magnificent women's support groups. The women's support groups have not gone away. They're here, they're fighting not only for the mining industry, but they're fighting against inequality, injustice, wherever it raises its ugly head.
We stood side by side with our lads then, and we'll do the same again now. All the miners' wives, all the women in this audience, join together to keep this fight to save this pit open. Not only to save our pit, but to save all your jobs.
United by the struggle, united by the fight, and it's here we go, all the women of the working class.
In the period from October the 13th, 1992, until these women emerge today from their protest, British Coal, Michael Heseltine and the Tory government have expended £450 million of taxpayers' money to try and defeat the NUM. It's because our union demonstrates resistance to their policy, and the magnificent women against pit closures have demonstrated that we are not confined in our struggle to saving 31 pits. We're linking arms with our brothers and our sisters at Timex, at Burnsell, and every other struggle.
I mean, if when the news came through last October, and if we'd have just said, oh, isn't it a shame Trentham's going to close, and well, what can we do, there's only 5 of us, there's nothing, we haven't really got a voice, and just went away, that would have been to lose. But you know, actually getting stuck in, getting down there with a caravan, doing the occupation, we fought them all the way, and we're still fighting, and that's something we'll always do.
The determination, the magnificent effort of these women and all the women and all the pit camps in their campaign, and the Women Against Pit Closures have given an inspirational lead that's been seized upon throughout the world.
I'm glad to see you. Look,
holding up the fight and will always be here whenever there's a fight against the British state. Our group, who's been here and active since 1984, will always be here to fight against this vicious Tory government.
Comrades and friends, we are very proud and privileged to have this sculpture in Stoke City Museum, not only as a living memorial to David and to Joe, but to everyone who was arrested, all our lads that were arrested on picket lines during the strike, who were defending the jobs and our communities.
We come from a dead nice place called Stoke-on-Trent. Now, you can always tell somebody who comes from Stoke, because if you're ever out in a cafe having a cup of tea, you'll see them sitting there and they'll turn the cup over like that and they'll say something like, God, I made 20,000 of them at work this morning, because they probably work on Dalton's or Wedgwood's. You see, the pits and the potteries are our main industries here in Stoke.
I can remember in the 50s when I was growing up, my dad worked in the pit and my mum worked on the pots. So my dad used to come home black and my mum used to come home white. Everywhere was white. The streets, the pavements, the people was a mass of white dust. There was men and women carrying pottery on boards from one factory to another, yet the sky was black with the smoke of industry.
Comrades, it is an important occasion. I pay my tribute to the North Staffordshire women for their efforts in helping many of our miners, dismissed miners, over the years, and their foresight in ensuring that we have a permanent memorial to two of our stalwarts that paid the ultimate price. I pay tribute to the sculptor. I've read a little pamphlet that tells us all about it, and cripes if he's at least one sculptor in this world that I can say is one of us. Is one of us from his description.